Mangwana ni malelepo vukenjani kritwas vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show that remains your portal into Africa's most potent stories. We are fresh in the new month, and let's have a look at some of the highlights from the stories that we'll be having today before Mike Sichula joins us with the Zambia report. Ghana government supports 5-year presidential term. Spain blames trafficking gangs as thousands cross into Ceuta. US acknowledges error after African countries mislabeled on map. Tyla's Nigeria tour date dropped amid boycott calls. And UEFA loses confidence in FIFA leadership as Gianni Infantino pressure grows. And as you know, the biggest tournament in the world right now is the Women's Africa Cup of Nations taking place in Morocco. And these are the results from the weekend. Nigeria, the Super Falcons, defeating my beloved Copper Queens 1-0, whilst Cameroon got the best of Ghana in a 1-0 game, but the real spectacle was Mali and Cape Verde delivering a 5-goal spectacle. However, Mali winning that game 3-2. DStv 285, GOtv 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, and NTV Afrika.my.na. That's where you can watch the show. Top stories shortly.
Namibia is a land of movement, with waves that never stop reaching forward. Here, adventure is not something we search for. It is something we are born into. In every corner of this country, creativity rises, from artists, from athletes, from dreamers. And when the world comes to explore Namibia, they discover something extraordinary. Because when sport moves people, creativity moves ideas, and tourism moves the world toward us. Something powerful happens. A platform where movement meets imagination, where industries connect, where opportunity grows, where Namibia's next chapter begins. Welcome to the Creative Sport Tourism Expo. Exhibit, partner, experience. Creative sport tourism.
All right, let's get into our top stories. The government of Ghana has accepted a constitutional review committee recommendation to extend the presidential term from 4 to 5 years, with Parliament's tenure adjusted accordingly. Attorney General and Justice Minister Dr. Dominic Akurutinga Ayine said the change would give administrations more time to plan, implement and assess policies subject to approval through a referendum. Government also supports a fixed single non-renewable 10-year term for the Chief Justice up to the retirement age of 70 and proposes capping Supreme Court justices at 19 rather than the committee's recommended 15. Ghanaians are expected to vote next year alongside the District Assembly elections on proposed amendments to the 1992 Constitution. Government supports presidential elections in November's first week. Presidential election petitions filed within 14 days and determined within 30 days, and presidential taxation on salary and allowances. It proposes a maximum of 60 ministers and 300 parliamentarians, plus 24 proportional representation seats for women, persons with disabilities and youth. Dual citizens by birth could contest parliamentary elections, while district chief executives would be elected under the government. Multiple citizenship restrictions would remain for president and vice president. Now, Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has blamed trafficking gangs for about 60,000 migrants crossed from Morocco into Ceuta, Spain's North African enclave, with local media reporting at least 57 deaths. Sanchez described the incident as a violation of Spain's territorial integrity, while Italy suspended Schengen arrangements with Spain. The influx followed a Supreme Court ruling that migrants intercepted at sea while trying to reach Ceuta or Melilla cannot be summarily returned to Morocco. By Friday evening, Spanish officials said 48,000 people had voluntarily returned to Morocco. Ceuta President Juan Jesus Vivas said arrivals represented around 70% of the city's population, although Spain's Interior Ministry estimated 50,000 arrivals since early Thursday. Spain deployed armed forces to reinforce security in Ceuta and Melilla, where 300 to 400 crossings were reported overnight. Officials estimated that at least 7,000 of those crossing illegally within 24 hours were minors. The United States State Department has acknowledged an unfortunate error after a map of Africa used during a presentation at an HIV and AIDS conference in Rio de Janeiro misidentified several countries. The map appeared in a slide presentation about Washington's funding for HIV programs and contained incorrect locations and shapes. Nigeria, Mozambique, Ivory Coast, and Malawi were wrongly positioned. Uganda was roughly located but mishappened, while Cameroon appeared in the key without its name being linked to a country. The State Department said a team member had hurriedly altered the slide deck before the event and accepted full responsibility for the confusion and misrepresentation caused to attendees, including African partners. HIV and AIDS expert Emily Bass shared a photograph of the slide, prompting online criticism. Reuters found that the image carried an artificial intelligence watermark, indicating it had been created using AI tools, and OpenAI said it was investigating the report. Nigeria has been removed from South African singer Tyla's upcoming world tour days after the Grammy winner announced dates supporting her second album, A-Pop. Her official website initially listed 34 cities, including Lagos, Johannesburg, and Cape Town, but an updated list published by Friday excluded Lagos. No reason has been provided for the change. The removal comes amid calls in Nigeria for the 24-year-old to cancel her concert over anti-migrant sentiment in South Africa and allegations that Nigerians have faced xenophobic violence in South Africa. An online petition titled "Ban Tyla from Entering Nigeria Until Xenophobic Attacks Stop in South Africa" has attracted thousands of signatures, while Nigerians have criticized Tyla for not speaking about the protests. Tyla has not responded to a BBC request for comment. Now, comedian Trevor Noah has also faced criticism after appearing in a Tourism Business Council of South Africa promotional video. Activist Omoyele Sowore argued artists should be held responsible for xenophobia, while culture journalist Mayowa Idowu said targeting artists risks missing the broader issue. Now, moving over to football, UEFA says that it has lost confidence in FIFA's leadership as pressure intensifies on President Gianni Infantino following the collapse of his plan to sell a stake in World Cup commercial operations to private investors. UEFA said no option should be off the table and argued the current FIFA leadership had lost confidence across parts of the football family. CONCACAF had also called for accountability and a full leadership review. Infantino had proposed creating a $20 billion company covering FIFA commercial businesses, including men's and women's World Cups and Club World Cups, with private investors owning 20%. FIFA withdrew the plan early on Saturday after opposition from UEFA, CONCACAF, and the Asian Football Confederation. Infantino's senior advisor Carlos Cordeiro also resigned, while FIFA Chief Operating Officer Kevin Lamore said staff had been deceived by a lack of openness and described the venture as one person's project. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning. It is a Monday, which means Mr. Mike Sichula will be joining us from Zambia to deliver the Zambia report. But prior to that, it's the weather. All right, it's time for us to be joined by Mr. Mike Sichula as he delivers the Zambia report from Lusaka. Uriwanji, Mike.
Muribwanji, Africa, good morning to our dear viewers. It's great to join you on the...
Tiri bueno. Now, we know in just 10 days' time, Zambia's August 13 election gets underway. Please do give us an update with regards to that.
Yes. So the ballot papers for the August 13th general elections are in the country and have been secured at a government facility, with the Electoral Commission of Zambia informing stakeholders and the nation that the ballot papers will begin to be distributed to 116 districts. And for this coming election, there are 226 constituencies, which is a jump from 156 constituencies. Then President Taka is the incumbent. He has so far covered 9 provinces, and he has had over 80 rallies. In a particular day, President Taka Ndayishimiye is having about 5 rallies per day. Whereas the front runner, the opposition front runner, the NRPU presidential candidate, Mr. Brian Mundubire, and his running mate Makebi Zuru have also traversed the country to about to 8 provinces. They have had over 50 rallies. They are not having as many rallies as compared to President Hakainde Hichilema, because President Hakainde Hichilema, on the other hand, is having an upper hand because of being an incumbent president. So this is so far how the elections have been. They have mostly been held in peaceful environments with a few pockets of violence, which authorities have been able to contain, and lawbreakers have been arrested to ensure that there is peace before, during, and after the general elections.
Now, Mike, the Court has ruled that a presidential running mate cannot resign after a valid nomination.
Yes, this was necessitated by a pressure group that went to the Constitutional Court seeking an interpretation.
All right, we're just waiting for Mr. Mike Sichula to rejoin us there. Mike, please do continue with your story.
Yeah, so as I was saying, the decision was made they were after they were
Already seems like we're having a significant connectivity issue. I'm just going to go ahead and continue with Mike Sichula's stories. Zambia's Constitutional Court. Oh, Mike, I understand you're back with us.
Yes. So what has happened is that we had 14 presidential candidates and 14 running mates. So there in the picture is Mr. Hari Kalaba, whose running mate Moses Mawere withdrew from the rest and endorsed another presidential candidate. So because of this withdrawal, the pressure group went to the court, and again, the gentleman in the picture is Mr. Anderson Banda. He also, Anford Banda, he also withdrew from the race as he was a presidential running mate to another presidential candidate. So because of this, the pressure group went to court to seek an interpretation. And the court stated that the Constitution requires a running mate to remain the ballot from the filing of nomination through to the polling day. The ruling comes in which the court to interpret the Constitution withdrawal of candidate or running mate, what the court has been able to establish. But however, despite these presidential running mate withdrawing, the elections are still going to go on with presidential candidates whose running mate had withdrawn because it happened after everything was already done and printing of ballot papers was already completed.
All right, Mike, it's been a year of some significant international appointments for Zambian professionals, and this one is no exception. Zambian banker Venus Hampinda has been appointed the head of Absa Bank in Seychelles.
Yes, before taking up this position, she was the chief financial officer at Barclays Bank, at Absa since 2020. Since 2020, she also worked for Standard Chartered Bank and also PricewaterhouseCoopers, among many other positions that she held. So, Miss Venus Hampinda is going to take up a new role with her team on 1st September 2026. So it is a huge appointment for the women, and a number of women organizations in Zambia have applauded Absa for this appointment, and they are happy that a woman who has contributed so much to the growth of Absa Bank in Zambia is now going to take on another bank in the Seychelles, something that is so commendable, and people are happy that a Zambian is able to take up a bank in a foreign country.
Tyla. Now, Mike, Copper Queens have had two significant results. The first one being a 6-0 win over Egypt. This is at WAFCON. Then, unfortunately, this weekend falling to the champions just by 1 goal, though.
The result has not pleased many soccer fans in Zambia because they think the Copper Queens respected the Nigerians too much when they had an opportunity to send the Nigerians packing if they managed to defeat the defending champions. However, Zambians are still hopeful. Some Zambians are still hopeful that come Tuesday, tomorrow, come the next match that Zambia is going to face against neighbors Malawi, Zambia can come out on top. But it is not going to be an easy game because before this tournament, Zambia held a Four Nations a tournament involving Malawi, and during those 2 matches, Zambia struggled to beat Malawi. So a number of soccer fans are still doubtful that Zambia may even beat Malawi, because the way Malawi has been performing, they have been rising and rising. So that's how the state of affairs are. But there are still some Zambians that are hopeful, but it is going to be a tight match with the Scorchers of Malawi, considering how they have improved at this tournament. And they are also on 6 points, topping the Group C. So it is all up to Zambia if they want to remain in this competition to beat Malawi at all costs.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike, for delivering the Zambia report as only you can.
Thank you very much, Africa. Good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning indeed. Now we're actually going to wrap up the show with highlights from that Zambia and Nigeria match, followed by Mali and Cape Verde's 5-goal spectacle. Right here on DStv 285, GOtv 25, oneup2.com, Network Media Hub, and NTV Afrika.my.na. Tomorrow is Tuesday, which means Talent Gore will join us with the Zimbabwe report. And of course, we will be bringing you the African stories from the broader continent. But for now, from me and the team, Swerai Zakanaka, here are the WAFCON highlights.
Coming out now onto the pitch, look at this, this is going to be enthralling. We are expecting a massive battle here, and we know that victory for Zambia and Malawi's 3-1. Here we go then, time to get the ball rolling here. The Copper Queens playing in copper, of course, with the Super Falcons, look at Barbara Banda already racing down to Chandler's high ball, trying to pick out a teammate. Far post as he picks up, that's a nice little ball over the top. Now danger lurking, Oshuala, there's the touch, has it gone too far? I think it's gone too far, yes it has. Now this midfield battle is going to be very exciting indeed, it already is. 7.5 minutes in, they've left her on her own. You can't do that, there's your goal, Nigeria take the lead. And what a mistake at the back. She scores every time. Oshuala has given the Super Falcons a 1-0 lead. Nigeria go ahead. You cannot do that at the back. Communication breakdown from Zambia. Well, this was the moment that the ball was pinched in the midfield. The long ball goes up. She's got pace. She races. Here is the free kick coming away. He's gone straight towards goal. Ball's been picked up.
Greetings and a very warm welcome to you here from the Kingdom of Morocco. It's the CAF Total Energies Women's Africa Cup of Nations. As you can see here from above this pitch, Isata Jory goes straight up and it's parried away behind her head to clear the danger. Sometimes you've got to take a look at the stats. That's a great bit of work here. The 1-2 and a separate shot. It's a brilliant goal for Mali. The 1-2 produces the goods. Sumptuous, and Umu Kone is the goal scorer. The salute, the celebration, and the Eagles are soaring now. As the left foot of Leia goes into the penalty box, there's a cluster of players, there's a chance for a shot. Is it good? It is a goal for Cabo Verde. History has been made. Look at the celebrations. Look at them jumping with joy. Magnificent. Evie Pereira, in her first ever WAFCON game, scores the first ever outfield goal for Cabo Verde's women's team. History. Down on the ground, putting contact on the heel. Look at that ball there. Saratu getting the ball back. There's a shot that coming in for a post goal for Mali. Sissoko out to the right-hand side. They're queuing up for a shot on goal. There's your goal number 3. It's a goal. They were being... Diagne had nothing to do with it, and there's another goal there, scored by Diarra. There's the header, there's the goal! She didn't even know it had gone in, and that is fantastic! Scored by Olivia Kelly. A flurry of excitement, and it's a win for Mali finally.